My name is Therese Raimond.
And my name is Ulrika Eklund, and together we've been writing this book. And we are invited to give you the tips for 5 tips how to make good meetings. So Therese will start.
Yeah. And the first thing that we really want to highlight is, of course, the purpose of the meeting. What is the result that you wish for after the meeting? Because if you work with this question in a good way before the meeting, you will know basically everything. Who must be there? What is important that you talk about when you gather everyone? Is it maybe something that people can do before, so that you just take the things that you really need to have everyone online at the same time when you are in the meeting? But one thing with the purpose, it must also be shared by everyone. And everyone is equally responsible for the result of the meeting. And this is a good thing to remind people about in a nice way when the meeting starts and also before the meeting.
And the second one is about the participation, the software you're using. Maybe there are people coming to their first online meeting ever. So you have to be a little humble and also create the circumstances, create possibility for people to participate. And one thing could be when you invite for a pre-meeting where you test the software. You can have an extra meeting for people that hasn't used this software before. Even they could be used to be online. Maybe they haven't used this software. So it could be good to have this as a routine in your organization. So have a pre-meeting. Invite also people 15 minutes before the meeting start. If you're going to start at 9, invite like 8:45 to give them the chance to log in. You know, there is also something that you download, find your headphones, all these things. And some people will be very fast doing this, and then you can say, okay, go and have a coffee. Go and get your fika, so you can drink coffee during the meeting. And also be very clear, if the software is not working, give them the number to the help desk. So also write that in or if you have a technical facilitator, you can give a number to your technical facilitator that they can call if they have problem to log in. Some people have that possibility and some not. Yeah. So that was the second one, digital participation.
The third tips that we have is that someone needs to facilitate the process. Someone needs to help the participants to have a good process during the meeting. Remember, on an online meeting, most people will be muted. Their microphones will be off. And therefore, it can be a little more complicated to ask a question or to raise the awareness that I'm not fully understand what you are talking about now. So when we talk about this facilitator, it's someone who reminds where in the meeting people are. It can be, for example, with questions like, are we talking about the right things now in order to bring us to the result? Are we moving forward in a good speed? Will we come to the conclusion at the end to make sure that you are following the right space for people that they can follow? Is everyone on board here? And silence is never ever yes, because people are muted. So you really need to make sure by using a chat or using thumbs up stars, icons with smileys. Make sure that when you do your rounds, people really get the possibility to say yes or no. The question was, is the facilitator and the leader the same person? It don't have to be the same person, but most of the time when I are calling in for a meeting, I am the facilitator.
Yes. And
Just det. I have one more thing.
one more thing.
On
Yes.
the facilitator. When you stand up, you tend to project your voice in another way. So as a facilitator, you can variate if you sit or you stand up, because your voice will be different when you do that. So that can also be a reminder, like an energizer. Maybe everyone should stand up now in the middle of the meeting or somewhere when you're losing energy.
Or change the space in the room or whatever. The fourth one is about designing the meeting. If you have bad meetings, usually in your organization, they won't be better just if you move them online. The thing is to design good meetings. That you think about, what process do I want to have now? What topics are on the agenda? And what method will be valuable for the participants during the different topics? So if there is a meeting, like you told before, like more information, you had this split, someone is speaking, then maybe it's enough with just a chat that people can ask questions. But if you want more participation, you need to use other tools and other methods to get people more involved. You can, for example, also prepare to do something asynchronous before the meeting. You can ask people to write on a shared board where you can write, or read things before, or you can send out a little video with this is the topic. So you can ask people to prepare before the meeting, so do things before. And you can do some things on the meeting synchronous. So you can vary these things. What do you do before? What do you do when you are together in the meeting? You can also divide people in groups. You can do many things during the meeting to make more participation. And that's very important. Yeah, I think that's enough for this
one. Online security is our fifth topic here. There is no such thing as a perfect system. People's safety and integrity will depend on the content that you are sharing. So you can create a safe environment by focusing on the content. I mean, for example, that it can be a risk for someone to be associated by a certain group or by some person in that group. So be careful with participation lists, how those are distributed. And also the kind of questions that you ask. What kind of topics are you talking about? How do you vary your questions to your partners? Maybe someone at the meeting is for some reason more at risk. Then adjust the whole meeting to that person. And also create control systems for changing routines. If someone all of a sudden is using a new email address or is sending out that I will use this number, have a control system that all changes of routine must be verified somehow by an extra phone call by that person or something.
And we will also give you an extra, a +1. The small talks, never forget that the small talks are very important. Try to divide people in groups. Maybe not all the... think about what platform you're using or what software you're using. In some, there are breakout rooms, so the people can go 2 and 2 in a breakout and have some pair discussions before you have discussed this big question that or if you feel that there is very silent on this meeting, you can also say to people, this silence is not to be in some way rude, or that you have to feel embarrassed, or that you have to take the word. This silence is just here for us to reflect. So also talk about the silence. And give possibility for people to go to breakout rooms, if that's a possibility. If you don't have that possibility, maybe they can make a phone call, or they can do another Skype during the meeting. Because sometimes you need this little blah, 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 this little conversation to be able to speak in the whole group. So don't forget about the Beehives. So that was our tips for today. And we hope you will enjoy the book and also spread it to your international partners. So, thank you.